Hi, I hope you're having a great day. In one of my videos, we talked about the plan of the Japanese government, this government, to abolish TITP, or in Japanese, the技能実習制度. In that video, we also talked about the many reasons why Japan is proposing the abolishment of TITP and the plan to create a new program that will replace TITP. We talked about those things and more in that video. So if you haven't seen this video yet, I strongly suggest to watch this first, then come back here later. Welcome back to NikkoVenture. In this video, we're gonna talk about the new program that will replace TITP, its differences and similarities with TITP. We're gonna talk about it and more, but first, as mentioned earlier, I've talked about the many reasons why TITP is going to be abolished in detail. But to make the story short, the Technical Intern Training Program has been plagued by serious human rights violations and illegal workplace practices for decades. Those are some of the many reasons why Japan is proposing the abolishment of TITP. Simply put, TITP, which was established exactly 30 years ago, has never met its intended purpose. Instead, it became a means for abusive Japanese employers to exploit cheap and/or unpaid labor from foreign workers. There is a clear and obvious disconnect between the purpose of TITP on paper and TITP in real life. The proposal to abolish TITP was finalized on October 18 this year, along with the plans of creating a new program that will replace TITP. The new program that will replace TITP was initially called Ikusei Gino. I'm not really sure if this is the entire name of the new program, but knowing Japan, this name, Ikusei Gino, might just be a proposed name, a tentative name. The final name of this new program that will replace TITP might be a bit longer. Regardless, these are some of the things that we know about Ikusei Gino when compared with TITP. One distinct difference between Ikusei and TITP is that when you are under the TITP program, you are classified as a trainee, not a worker. Whereas under the proposed new Ikusei Gino program, you will be a rodosha, or in English, a worker. Let me say that again. Under the TITP program, you will be classified as a trainee. Under the proposed Ikusei Gino program, the program that will replace TITP in the near future, you will be classified as a worker, not a trainee. This is absolutely important to take note of, since there is a huge difference between a trainee and a worker here in Japan. As a trainee, you may not be eligible for certain privileges, such as salary increase and annual bonus, just to mention a few. A worker will have a huge chance to be eligible to those things if certain conditions are met. Under the proposed new program, the Ikusei Gino program, foreign workers will be able to work and live here in Japan for a maximum of 3 years. I know what you're thinking.
But Nikko, the TITP program will allow us to work and live here in Japan for a maximum of 5 years. The new Ikusei Gino program will only allow us for a maximum of 3 years. The reduced length of stay is obviously a downgrade.
Yes, based on the length of stay, Ikusei Gino seems to be a downgrade when compared to TITP. But we all need to remember that this program, this Ikusei Gino program, and all the provisions under this new proposed program is still at a takidai, a draft, a proposal, a tentative plan. Nothing, and I mean nothing about the content of this video and the news articles from which I sourced all my information are final. Nothing about this information within this video is final. All the information in this video about the Ikusei Gino program are just proposals. But why would these old Japanese officials propose a reduced length of stay when creating a new program that will replace a 5-year contract of TITP? Why? The fuck should I know? But remember, the TITP program also started as a 3-year contract. It's just recently that the Japanese government decided to extend it into a 5-year contract and then abolish it. So kindly take the information inside this video with a grain of salt. Tenshoku literally means job transfer, career change, or switching employers. Under the TITP program, transferring to a different workplace is next to impossible. And if there's even a chance of that, it is a grueling task and is banned by the TITP program on paper. With the proposed Ikusei-Gino program, workers under this program can now transfer to a different job, a different workplace, a different employer. All they have to do for those people under this proposed Ikusei-Gino program to transfer to a different employer is to work for at least a year and pass certain technical skills and have JLPT N5. Although TITP trainees and Ikusei-Gino workers can transition to the SSW program, TITP trainees are exempted from skills and language tests when transitioning to the SSW program if they worked as a trainee for more than 3 years. However, as of now, Ikusei-Gino workers are not exempted from skills and language tests when transitioning to the SSW program even if they worked for 3 years. For Ikusei-Gino workers, JLPT N4 is required when transitioning to the SSW program Type 1, and JLPT N3 is required when transitioning to the SSW program Type 2. However, if an Ikusei-Gino worker fails these skills and language tests when transitioning to the SSW program, they will be given another 1 year to prepare and retake these tests. Currently, the TITP program offers over 80 industries for foreign workers to choose from when working here in Japan. Meanwhile, the proposed new Ikusei-Gino program will have the same 14 industries with the SSW program. In other words, if the TITP program gets abolished, the number of industries that a foreign worker can choose from will be significantly reduced from 80 to 14. So if your skills does not match with those 14 industries with the SSW programs, it may be difficult for you to work here in Japan under the Ikusei-Gino program. On top of that, it was also proposed that the number of applicants for each of these 14 industries will be limited, although we still don't have the exact number of that limitation. Aside from being victims of human rights violations and workplace abuses, TITP trainees are also known to pay huge amounts as fees for their recruitment agencies located in their home countries. There are some stories where a trainee is forced to sell her or his home and incur huge amounts of debts just to pay his or her recruitment agency and be able to come and work here in Japan under the TITP program. To reduce the financial burden on these foreign workers, aspiring foreign workers, the Ikusei-Gino program will now require Japanese companies or Japanese employers to pay for every single foreign worker they hire. The ratio and the amount that these Japanese companies or Japanese employers will pay for every foreign worker they hire is still to be announced or still to be discussed by the Japanese government. Under the proposed Ikusei-Gino program, workers are expected to be paid a salary that is way higher than TITP trainees. Under the Ikusei-Gino program, a foreign worker, will be paid a salary equal to or more than their Japanese co-workers. Of course, conditions are applied. Hi! Is there an info about what would happen to new TITP or trainee visa holders if the program gets abolished? Would they be used as is till the end of their contract, or would they be converted into SSW or the new program visa? Thank you in advance. It's just that this news got me worried if they would send me back to my country once TITP gets abolished. Thank you for commenting. Kim Tai Rai Arium. As of the making of this video, I have not yet seen an information that will give a solid answer to your question. It might be because Japan is still finalizing the conditions and the minute details about this program that will replace TITP, among other things. However, based on the information we have so far, it is very unlikely for current TITP trainees to be automatically transitioned into the SSW program or into the new Ikkusei-gino program just because the current TITP program is gonna be abolished. Even if the TITP program gets abolished, the skills test and the language tests that is required for a person to transition to the SSW program will still remain. It might be safe to say as well that the abolishment of TITP doesn't mean that all current TITP trainee located here in Japan will immediately lose their trainee visa and will be required to return to their home countries. No, I don't think so. If you think about it, that's utterly unethical and downright illegal. What will likely happen, I think, what will happen is that current TITP trainees located here in Japan will still be allowed to work as trainees here in Japan until their current TITP contract expires or they successfully transition to other programs such as SSW program. But this will also mean that once TITP program gets abolished, Japan, this country, will no longer accept new applications for TITP trainees moving forward. Just remember, please remember that all the information in this video is not final. Until the Japanese government releases an official statement about this, all the information inside this video are still tentative, except for the fact that TITP is gonna be abolished. That's the real fact. That's the only fact in this video. Nevertheless, your worries are not unfounded. Everyone, literally everyone, will feel the same way or worse if they are in your shoes. Slippers, sandals, boots. The best thing we could do as of now is to make good use of the time we have while we're here in Japan and to successfully transition to the SSW program, if you want that, while waiting for the official statement of the Japanese government. Again, Kim Taerai Arium, thank you for your comment. So, those are some of the things we know for now about the new program that will replace TITP, its differences and similarities when compared to TITP. If you have follow-up questions, corrections, clarifications, or you just want to call me a bake row, feel free to leave a comment down below. How about you? What do you think? Is this new program a better version of TITP or is this just TITP version 2.0? I really do hope you've learned something from this video. If you do, please do leave a like, comment, and share this video with interested friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for your time watching this video. See you in the next one. Babush.